from behind twice last night, doubling up the White Sox in the series opener. Max Scherzer gets the call in Game 2. He's beaten Chicago 12 times. Interleague baseball from the South Side.
You can take the L down to 35th Street. We're on the south side of Chicago, right along the Dan Ryan Expressway. There's U.S. Cellular Field. Nats coming alive here offensively. Some fans are cheering them on. And the mantra for this ball club right now is swing the bats. Mike Rizzo at home tending to the draft. His dad Phil's here. He loves to tell us, swing those bats, and that's what the guys are doing right now.
Yeah, 20 runs the last 2 games. They've been swinging the bats. I think a couple keys in the lineup. All of a sudden, Ben Revere's swinging the bat. He's a game changer. When he gets on, you see a lot more fastballs behind him. Anthony Rendon locked in. Wilson Ramos, Daniel Murphy been doing it all year. But to me, Ben Revere, and then some guy named Bryce Harper all of a sudden heating up.
Yeah, when Bryce is being Bryce, the Nats are at their very best. He had a quiet month or so with the bat. That bat is quiet no more.
Well, he's not the most improved player. He's not the most inspirational player. He's the most valuable player, and it's for a reason. When he's swinging, this ball club wins baseball games. He's been locked in of late. He's starting to heat up. He's seeing more pitches. He's taking his walks, and he's doing damage when you make a mistake. I talked to Robin Ventura today, and he said he's going to walk him any chance he gets tonight. We'll see if Bryce Harper gets a chance to beat the White Sox again tonight.
And the guy that might be doing that walking is James Shields. Recent transaction, Shields from San Diego back into the American League with the White Sox. Rocked his last time out, but he's a guy who knows how to win. He's trying to win his 130th big league game.
He's a guy that fills up the strike zone. He throws a lot of first pitch strikes. Look for the Nats to be aggressive tonight. He likes to get to that changeup, but he's coming off a career high 10 runs in 2 2/3 innings against the Mariners last start. But he's big game James for a reason. He'll be fired up for the Nats tonight.
Max Scherzer faced the White Sox a lot in the American League, a record of 12-6 against them. But here are his numbers at U.S. Cellular Field. His one and only complete game against the Sox took place here.
Yeah, his 12 wins against the Sox are most against any ball club. His last start against the Phillies, his changeup was amazing. We always wonder what the secondary pitch of the day is going to be for Max Scherzer. If the changeup's anything like his last start against the Phillies, the Sox are in big trouble here tonight.
Yeah, in that ball game 5 days ago, actually almost a week ago now because of the off days, 111 pitches, 78 strikes. He went 8 innings, gave up just a couple of runs on 5 hits. That was for a sweep. Tonight he's pitching for a series win. Game 2 from Chicago.
Yeah, how about 8-2 in interleague play this year? The Nats were 8-12 against the American League last year. So it goes from Roark strikeouts to a bunch of hitting heroics to Scherzer's 20 Ks, and then a second straight game here last night with 10 runs. The Nats trailed 2-0 and 5-2. The numbers all add up. So 2 more against the Sox here. Home and home with Cleveland, home and home with the Orioles remaining in interleague play. It's a chilly night. It's a breezy night in Chicago. We noticed during batting practice the yard looks like it's going to play a little bigger tonight than it did last evening. That's okay with Scherzer and Shields because some pitchers got wrecked here last night. It might be a marquee pitching matchup for this one. Baseball on Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. By Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. By Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years, federally insured by NCUA. And by University of Maryland, University College. Yeah, the clouds have moved fast right now. The skies are clear overhead. It's going to be chilly tonight. Breeze in off the lake. That means left field at this ballpark 61. So the breeze at about 10 miles an hour. The Nats lineup features Murphy DHing tonight. Stephen Drew in there, and why not? Against James Shields' career, a solo home run, couple of doubles, 7 for 17. Other notables: Ben Revere 4 for 11 against Shields. He'll lead off in a moment. Right-hander is 0-1 in 3 career starts against the Nats with a 6 ERA.
Well, there he is, his White Sox debut. Adam LaRoche, number 25. He took Adam's number. James Shields' last start allowed 10 runs in 2 2/3 innings. That's a career high for him. That was against Seattle through 79 pitches. So watch the delivery. He'll turn his back to you. He has a big turn, show you his numbers. He's kind of a dart thrower. Away early with the fastball, in late.
First one right in there, and on time. We are at 8:10 Eastern.
Fastball averaging 90. He'll cut the fastball, slider, curveball change to complement the heater. But he'll throw the off speed when he's ahead in the count. He'll try to finish you off inside with the fastball.
Ben Revere's been on base 5 times his last 2 games. 0-2 now. Hitting a .171. Numbers rising steadily. And the breaking ball in the dirt. 28-year veteran. The crew chief has the plate tonight. That's Gary Cederstrom, Eric Cooper, Jim Wolf, Nick Lentz around the bases, first, second, and third. White Sox at home are 13-13. The Nats on the road 20-12.
So here comes the fastball in.
It runs right back out over the plate, and Rivera is out looking. Serious movement there.
Yeah, there's the two-seam fastball front hip at Ben Revere. That starts way off the plate. That had some good late action. Not if you're hitting.
By the way, Mets at Pittsburgh. Pirates 2 runs in the first off Noah Syndergaard. They're now 3rd inning. 2-0 Bucks. Jason Worth against Shields' career 1 for 3 with a walk. Back in left field tonight. .34-year-old right-hander is 129 and 104 in his career, makes his 330th start. So Bryce next, then Murphy. Outfield really playing Worth around to the right side. Big gap left center. A lot of room left field corner. And Worth, a good idea on that breaking ball, low, 2-1. So Shields, after fanning Revere, 100 strikeouts away from 2,000.
1,900 by my math.
That's in 2,180 innings over 11 years. Jason Worth, a good at bat. He wasn't biting on anything there. So the Nats have a base runner, 1 out. Harper coming up.
There's your Sox D. Cabrera, Jackson, Eaton in the outfield. Some guy named Jimmy Rollins playing short. Todd Frazier on the left side. Brett Laurie, Jose Abreu on the right side, and Alex Avila behind the plate. Our old friend Jimmy Rollins, there he is, 4 Gold Gloves. Still doing it.
Starting his 35th game at shortstop for the White Sox tonight. Bryce Harper 1 for 3 against Shields. One of his best RBI nights last night in quite some time. He's up there hacking, foul tip. Avila was set up away.
I think one thing he was the most consistent at, talking about Bryce last year, was the balance throughout his swing. This year at times it's wavered. You see him kind of falling toward his dugout more than you did last year. I mean, he would at times, but the thing that impressed us the most, he got all his hits to left field. He was taking his hits there. You made a mistake, he'd shoot you out to left, pull side home runs, and we've seen some better balance the last 3 or 4 games with Bryce.
Target out there again. Harper shows bunt, and that's a base hit down the third base line. Laid it down beautifully. 2 on 1 out for Daniel Murphy, and maybe that'll give a little pause to how they play him next time. You don't know, but they didn't walk him, so he bunts for a hit.
Well, there goes the no-hitter. That's the first time I've said it for Bryce Harper on a base hit bunt. Usually it's a foul ball. That time he got it down, bunted it hard to third. I like it when it works.
Yeah, why not keep Shields off the stretch with a couple of guys aboard here, and a big spot for Daniel Murphy.
He's talking about collecting hits. He did just that.
Yeah, Murphy, the ultimate hit collector with 81. Still leading the league by 11 over Gene Segura and Starling Marte. Murphy career against Shields 2 for 9. 5 of his last 9 hits have gone for extra bases.
Does he part of his bat fly off there? Little splinter on the cup.
Yeah, he was looking at it for a second.
Let me see. Is it? Was there a toothpick flying off this bat? Yeah, see that?
Yeah, just a little sliver. Looked like a shaving coming off the way it was shaped. Murphy 0 for 3, a walk, a steal, a run, hit by a pitch last night.
It's kind of curly though. I'm seeing things way too early. I was seeing things about the 7th last night.
Changeup. Ball gets away and the runners both move up.
Well, you give up 10 runs your last start against the Mariners, and all of a sudden there's runners at second and third in the first. Doubt starting to creep in your head. Avila tried to get over and block that 58-footer, but he couldn't.
I guess that's the one thing good about an 0-2 count. He tried to bury something, and Avila couldn't handle it. And now Murphy, a fantastic opportunity to put the Nats on top early. He's driven in 37 runs.
Infield back.
Way inside. Murphy got hit on the leg last night, 6th inning. He's taken a couple of big time shots in the last week.
He had a magnet in his pocket last night. He was a pincushion. He got hit with a pitch, then drilled run to first on a strike 3 in the back. And that was heading for the same spot last night.
Dusty Baker said last night in that play in the 8th inning, he'd never seen a guy run on that side to go to first, and then the umpires told Dusty they had never seen it either. Unusual play. He was almost like rounding the bag after a strikeout, trying to get to first. 2-2 with 1 out. Murphy will guide one into right field. Home is Worth. Harper around third. Bob Henley will hold him as Murphy seemingly just reached out and decided where he wanted that ball to go. 1-0 Nats.
Well, I've compared his swing to Wade Boggs at times. This reminds me a little bit of it, but maybe more Vladimir Guerrero than Wade Boggs. Look where he hits his pitch. That was going in the dirt. How do you hit that pitch? He almost hit it on a hop. I've seen Vladimir Guerrero do that before. But he took that right off the deck, flips it into right field. And Bryce Harper putting the brakes on. What a piece of hitting by Daniel Murphy. Are you kidding me?
RBI number 38. Here's Wilson Ramos with runners at first and third.
That's one of those that didn't compute live to me when I was looking at it on the screen here. Like, did he really hit that just now?
Ramos has a homer off Shields. Fastball low.
That was higher than the last pitch that Murphy just hit.
So look at what Wilson's done. 13 for his last 27. 3 homers, 11 RBIs. Ramos against Shields, 1 for 2. A homer, 2 RBIs. Let's have a look at that home run.
It was a far one. It got out by a ton. August 25th, 2015. Watch, he's watching it. It's way out of here, right? And first row. Wilson Ramos watching that one that barely got out of there.
He was the only one who knew he got it.
He knew it. They all count the same.
Ramos takes ball 2. So with runners in scoring position, just crazy numbers. If he had enough at bats to qualify, that would be the 2nd highest number in the National League. Two and 1. Shields looking for the ground ball, and Ramos takes it, ball 3.
Shields talking to himself.
Robin Ventura's ball club has lost 4 straight, 11 of their last 13. At the 500 mark, 3.5 back of Cleveland.
Ramos hits it hard. The ball eats up Todd Frazier. Long throw to first. He's out somehow. Frazier really staying with one. But the Nats lead 2-0 as Bryce Harper's already in the dugout.
Well, nice job of staying with it by Todd Frazier. I thought for sure this was a base hit for Wilson Ramos. I don't think they would have scored that in there. It took a tricky hop on Frazier, but look at the concentration. Stays with it, has time with Ramos running.
Ooh.
Pretty close at first. They might take a look at that one.
Yeah, the Nats are thinking about it. Dusty just gave the pause sign to Gary Cederstrom.
Looked like he was safe on that replay. I don't know. Right now he's got an RBI. He wants a hit too. Chris Spire using all his minutes.
Hey, we've talked about this before. There's no time limit, and the Nats.
Look at Dusty stalling.
Yeah, they're gonna. This is either a stall piece or a definite challenge.
No, he's stalling so they can look at it longer. Oh no, he walked all the way out there so they could look at it a second longer. What do you got? I'm 0 for 100 on these this year. Help me out.
I don't know, man. That ball appeared to skip off the ground.
It's a good angle.
Maybe giving Ramos time to get on that bag.
Here we go.
Ooh, that's bang bang.
Lunge for that bag. Good thing is he's not hurt. See how he kind of lands funny and then jumps over it the next step. Slow it down. Slower. I have no clue. And if I have no clue.
Only thing I saw from that replay was the ball up into Abreu's glove before I saw the bag kind of give with the contact by the foot. So
I mean, the good news is there's a crooked number down there in the bottom of the screen.
Yep. Eric Cooper made the call. Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief who has the play, joins him as they play Let It Be on the PA system here. So it's going to be a long first inning for Shields. Probably won't be much fun for him standing around during this time.
You know, sing along, Bob? You know the words?
I know the chorus.
All right.
Hey, McCartney at the ballpark's never a bad thing.
It is when you're sitting around for 45 minutes to wait for a replay.
Runner is out on a very good play by Todd Frazier. So the Nats done with challenges.
When you reach for a ball like that, you don't have time to find the seam. So Frazier just grabbed that thing and threw a palm ball to first and got Wilson Ramos. Nice play.
Runner at second, 2 outs for Ryan Zimmerman. Ryan against Shields, 1 for 8 career with an RBI. 10 for his last 24.
They said that challenge took 1:19 seconds. And if that's true and that's the clock they use, I'm 27 years old. That was not 1:19.
So first inning, not great for Shields this year. Hey, they could have played Hey Jude. That takes forever.
Freebird. I mean, you could see the game plan early against Shields. Just get him up. Anything belt high. He's kind of a dart throw. He's got that downhill angle going on all his pitches. You elevate him, you got a chance.
There's the off speed again.
Still trying to wrap my head around Murphy's base hit.
Zimmerman got a pitch up. It's a line drive up. See you later.
A 4-run first inning against James Shields for the Nats. For Zimmerman, his 9th home run, RBI total up to 28.
That's a professional hitter right there, folks.
That thing didn't give the wind time to affect it.
Well, that's the first pitch he saw above his knees, and he was hunting that pitch the whole at bat. Finally got it. And the Nats with their 12th game in a row with the homer.
That's a homered in 12 consecutive games. The prolific nature of this offense continues.
But like last night, I was saying they could beat you in different ways. A walk, a base hit, another base hit, and then a tater. A ground out for an RBI. 106, 393. Did we get Bryce's bunt? The hit speed? Turns out it's a big play in this inning, right?
Home runs 28 by the Nats now in their last 14 games. And game 14 just started. 0-1 to Rendon. He's 2 for 4 career against Shields.
Yeah, since May 10th, he's hitting 348.
Yeah, on base percentage 442 over that time. He'll give up a lot. Shields gave up 9 with San Diego in 67 innings. Up and in.
Check out the tater again. Whoa. When all of his parts are on time, he is so much fun to watch hit. And you could just tell when he keeps that front side closed that long, damage.
Almost to 30 pitches. I mean, that was some kind of low laser line drive right into the breeze here. Never got high enough that the breeze could stop it. 4 runs on 3 hits. Rendon looks at a curveball way outside.
Thirsty. You know what I'm going to do during the break? I'm going to watch Murphy's hit again. I mean, the home run was fun, but I want to see how he did that. All right, I'll stop. Sorry. It's awesome.
Rendon. A little late on that fastball, upper deck.
All right, show me it again. Unbelievable.
'82 hits, 38 RBIs. So you got that first one home, then Ramos got the second one. Zimmerman 3 and 4. And Rendon will go to right field. That ball sending Adam Eaton over toward the line. And a long first inning in his Chicago debut for James Shields. He's being greeted by some boos. That thing was really greeted by Ryan Zimmerman. He's on some kind of roll. His last 25 with 3 homers, 7 RBIs. So he sets up at first base as Max Scherzer faces this White Sox lineup. Todd Frazier, 4 homers in his last 6 games. Oddly enough, he's 6 for his last 37, batting .221, but when he makes contact, they're going a long way. Abreu, 5 career hits. Cabrera, 5 career hits against Max Scherzer in that Sox lineup. Max faces them for the 24th time.
He held the Phillies to 2 earned runs over 8 strong innings, struck out 11 Phils. That was the 3rd time this year he struck out 10 or more in a ball game. Last start fastball averages 95.
Leadoff man Adam Eaton. He's 4 for 12 against Max, career with a couple of walks. Rendon even with the bag at 3rd. Leveled off and fouled it back 0-2. Eaton over the last 2 weeks hitting a .151. Scherzer spins a breaking ball in the dirt to strike him out.
Oh, here's your Nats D for tonight, standard, except for Stephen Drew with the start at second base. There's Stephen.
Gives Max 21 strikeouts in his last 9 1/3 against 2 teams from the Central that should know him pretty well.
Or he knows them pretty well.
Yeah.
You think of that 20 strikeout game, he didn't sit on the bench and think to himself as a Tiger how he'd pitch his own team. Guys do that all the time. Guys even will tell you on the bus, if I ever face you, this is what I'm doing to you. So he had a pretty good idea what he wanted to do to that ball club.
And on top of that, Jordan Zimmerman was pitching for the Tigers. Boy, he's sharp so far. Late break on that baby, 87. 1-1 to Austin Jackson, who's hit over 400 his last 9 games for the White Sox. Just back from a toe injury last night. That one at the knees, and Stephen Drew grabs it to his right. Ball hit really well. 2 outs.
We show you how to defense, you're going to get a ball. Stephen Drew with a nice play, ready for action. Nicely done.
Jose Abreu, 4-game hitting streak. A couple of hits, a sac fly last night. He's 7 for his last 16. Swing back action on the 93 heater.
Some history.
And this one popped up right side. Ryan Zimmerman drifting with it. Fair ball when he catches it. How's that for a shutdown inning after your teammates just gave you 4 runs in the Windy City?
charm in the booth with us tonight, Phil Rizzo. The Nats are on pace to score 36 runs.
Yeah, he did a nice job in the first inning. We got Mike's father up here, so put him on TV.
He wants a raise, Mike.
That's what he just said. He really did. Good stuff. Good luck, Charm. Keep him here. Don't move. Same seats.
On to the top of the second. Drew Espinosa and Revere. And this is the guy we might have picked as our pick to click tonight. 7 for 17 with a home run against James Shields.
Well, you really went out on a limb on that one.
This one popped high over our heads to the upper deck. .32 pitches, 17 strikes for Shields in his first inning with the White Sox. Nats have done a good job so far of laying off the breaking ball low. So there's a homer attached to that 7 for 17. Drew has hit 3 this year with 7 batted in. And that is hooked. Home run distance foul.
Tee it high, let it fly, elevate and rake.
Here's the AB from Nissan so far. Everything middle in. Then he goes low and away.
See, it started at Stevens' knees, and he took it. Anything that starts at your knees against Shields is going to be down. It's going to be a ball. It's going out of the zone. Just raise your sights.
3-2 pitch. On a pitch up. Drew high in the air to right. See you later. Stephen Drew, second career homer against Shields, and the Boo Birds are loud in Chicago. Eight batters, 5 runs on 4 hits and a walk.
Well, your pick to click just clicked. So that was outside the Parker for Stephen Drew. Wow. The pitch before he took allowed him to hit that home run.
Espinosa showing bunt. And by the way, this offense started with a walk to Worth and a bunt base hit by Bryce Harper.
Saw the changeup down, and you saw where that pitch was, belt high. So he took the low one. He's looking up. He found it. And shot her out of here at 97 miles an hour.
So Drew 2 pinch homers and now 2 as a member of the regular lineup. Danny has been on a home run tear lately. 6 of his last 7 hits have gone for extra bases. And the Nationals' next home run will be their 80th of the year.
Look at the elevation. Belt high. That's the one he was hunting the whole at bat. Same as Ryan Zimmerman. Watch where the location is. Right at the belt. And that held a loud sound and a no-doubter for Stephen Drew. Gets to trot on that one. And that's doing damage here early against the Sox.
Swing and a miss on a pitch away. Two-two pitch. Great take. 3-2.
This keeps up. We might have to add a third member to our broadcast team. Good for 5 runs already.
Phil has gotten us the most runs ever without speaking a word on this telecast.
Yes. Maybe I should try that.
Espinosa to right.
See you later. Unbelievable. It's 6-0 on 3 home runs in the last 4 batters.
That was a bomb. There it is, Lucky Charm. 6 runs, 3 taters.
Wow. Where have you been all our lives, Phil?
Wow. Somebody's got to make a T-shirt that says "Wow," don't they?
Espinosa's 6 home runs his last 12 games.
I'll wear it. 402.
Crowd is buzzing, and it's not a good sound if you're a Sox fan. Revere called out on strikes to start the game.
It's going to be because of Miller Lite here in second.
Wow.
Yeah, he just always a good low ball hitter left-handed, more of a high ball hitter right-handed because right hand's his dominant hand, but he just went down and dug that out.
Danny Espinosa, 77th career homer. Now the Nats are at 80 to lead the National League. They've hit 30 homers in their last 14 games, and again, game 14 just started.
Same seats.
2-1 to Revere. He lines one to center, and it drops in front of Austin Jackson, who looked like he was going to make a move on the ball, and then he pulled up. 3 hits in a row inside the numbers with Jeep. And look at the Nats. Mets have a home run tonight to tie that game in Pittsburgh 2-2. Wow. Don Cooper, the pitching coach.
But they're not feast or famine. You see that number, and it's nice. See, I mean, it was warm at Nats Park last homestand. This team has pop. They took advantage. On the road trip, I feel like they're taking advantage of some subpar bullpens. They're swinging the bats well. The offense is starting to come along. But this is an offense that's live or die, feast or famine with a home run. They can score in other ways, which is, you know, nice. You're not a 3-point shooting team that relies just on the 3-pointer. They can do other things offensively. The home runs are nice, but that's not what this offense is made of.
Nobody out. Here's Worth. He walked first time. Jason took some borderline pitches in that at bat. He didn't bite on anything low. And when you saw the way he took that walk, you had a feeling that the Nats had a real good read on Shields. Nobody throwing in the White Sox bullpen yet. Look at that. 16 earned runs, 5 long balls in less than 4 innings recently for the Padres and the Sox.
They're just really not establishing the strike zone with anything off speed. So as a hitter, you're just not even really looking for anything other than elevation. And Robin Ventura's bullpen is tapped out. He needs some innings out of James Shields.
Only got 4 1/3 from Matt Latos, his starter last night, who was staked to a 2-0 then a 5-2 lead. 4 other pitchers finish off the game, including 3 innings by Matt Perk, so he's done for a couple of days, as is Blake Trinan for the Nats, who also pitched 3 innings.
I'm being told their bullpen threw 106 pitches last night.
Zach Putnam was not one of them.
Putnam, Nate Jones, and David Robertson, their closer, the only 3 they didn't use. Worth a hot shot to left. He's on for the second time. And here comes Bryce Harper again. With 2 runners aboard, Frazier will have to stay home at third. So, you know, Bryce will be swinging after he surprised the White Sox with a bunt hit first time up. And Bryce went biting on that curve. Harper's batting average now back up to the 250 mark. Good rip there. Harper's also hitting .375 with runners in scoring position. That's the 6th highest average in the league.
Trying to get that feel for the barrel through the zone. That's why he's doing that with his lead hand.
Couple of days can make such an amazing difference. Remember Bryce's frustration in the middle of the weekend in Cincinnati. Came alive on Sunday. More of the same last night. And now looking relaxed and dangerous. 2-2. Close, and Bryce took it, ball 3.
Tried to backdoor the cutter to Bryce.
Nobody out, 2 on, 2 runs in already. Shields, a lot of time between pitches here. Harper rips one foul.
Make a play. Oh. That's a way to keep it in front of you, though.
They back each other up well down there.
Check out the picker. That's like from 1972, his glove.
White Sox have been on the field forever, and there's nobody out in the second inning. Harper called out on strikes. Shields gets one through the back door. His second K. And with sarcasm, the Sox fans love it. Murphy next.
Well, you got to. What's going through James Shields' mind right now after we showed you his last outing and this outing, how many earned runs he's given up? He's in a new ballpark, in a new uniform, in front of new teammates, new fan base, and this is how it starts.
Yeah, working with a new battery mate. Trying to get together with Avila here.
So if you missed Daniel Murphy's first at bat, look at this. Cricket, anyone? Almost on a hop. The only other guy I've seen do that left-handed was Matt Stairs in the minor leagues, hit a ball on the hop. I've seen Vladimir Guerrero do it right-handed. And that one was just short of hitting the ground.
Now Murphy on 0-2. Way out ahead of that hanger.
Freddie Freeman's a guy that comes to mind as a good low ball off speed hitter, the way he kind of drops the bat like he's playing cricket. I think I've got football, basketball, and cricket in tonight already. I'm going for some more.
It's been a track meet on the bases, ladies and gentlemen. More like cross country right now. The 0-2 with one out. Murphy takes it away.
It's not a sprint. It's a decathlon.
I was just looking. Tonight's game number 59. Daniel Murphy can get 18 hits in the next 22 games and still be at 100 halfway through the year.
Unreal. Had 140 last year.
Two and two. In case you haven't remembered who got aboard, Revere with a base hit up the middle. Jason Worth, a hot bouncer between third and short. Then Harper, the taken third strike for the first out. And it all started with the Drew and Espinosa back-to-back home runs. Murphy guides one up the middle. Outstanding play by Laurie. Murphy beats it, but Brett Laurie saves another run. 2 outs, runners at first and third.
You could get an entire month of home games for just $50 with Nats Pass, the newest way to enjoy Nats baseball. Catch every game in June in standing room areas of Nats Park for just $50. So Phillies, Cubs, Mets, Reds coming to town, $50. All you can eat baseball. Visit nationals.com/Nats Pass for all the details. It's a good deal.
Good night for that gentleman.
I think I'm going to buy one.
Ramos. Ground ball to third for an RBI first time up. A ball that ate up Todd Frazier, who was able to recover and make a very good play to throw Wilson out. That saved a run as Zimmerman possibly saved a run as Zimmerman came up right after that and homered. Pitch number 68 coming. That ball kind of hanging up and in.
See, that's a pitch he gets if he's around the plate, but because he's been all over the place, kind of buckshot tonight, Gary Cederstrom is not thinking about a strike. He's not in rhythm with James Shields, and he hasn't really earned that call early on.
Mercedes-Benz tracking that one for us.
He's not anticipating strike. He's anticipating ball.
Ramos takes one up and away. .70 pitches. Barely more strikes.
It's good plate coverage, falling off a borderline pitch.
Ramos 33 RBIs after his ground ball first time. Revere at third. Murphy at first. 3-2 again. Ooh, Ramos got a breaking ball right in the middle of the plate. Murphy getting his running in as the DH tonight, as he's gone to second and back a couple of times here.
So Ichiro had 262 hits in 2004.
Wow.
Is that good?
It's amazing.
It's the most ever. Hit 372.
What an at-bat by Wilson Ramos, and the bases are loaded. Seeing the ball in amazing fashion. Second walk by Shields, and now he has to deal with Ryan Zimmerman again.
Well, first inning, Ryan Zimmerman with home run number 9. A low tracer out of here. Finally got an elevated pitch. And heads up in left field. I think Ben Roethlisberger almost caught that one. Did you see that?
I saw a guy with a Chris Sale jersey waving at it.
Bryce went helmet taker offer guy. I missed that first time.
Ball 1 to Zimmerman.
Well, the good thing about having Phil Rizzo up here is there's 6 runs. The bad thing is we're getting home at midnight.
Hey, I'll go home at 2 in the morning to watch this. All of us who have been complaining about the offense, shut up, offense, all of us.
Offense is cool.
I remember the sage words of Dusty several weeks ago at Citi Field. He said, I've got a warm weather ball club. I know my offense is a lot of warm weather guys. Not exactly toasty here in Chicago, but it's not in the 50s or the 40s either. 1-1 pitch up, and that one racked Alex Avila off the side of his mask.
He's had a lot of concussion issues too throughout his career. A lot of concussion issues, and there's some people wondering if that's had effect on him. You see, he's not answering the phone right now. It's ringing.
Zimmerman, the 8th Nat to bat in this inning. 7 batted in the first, and a 1-2 pitch. Eight o'clock in Chicago. Might be close to midnight for the White Sox starter. And we are seeing some kind of offensive display by the Nats. This game is 56 minutes old. Nats have been in the field for about 4 minutes of that. Zimmerman, a chopper left side. Bare hand play, and played very well by Todd Frazier. He saved them a couple of runs tonight. So leading off the top of the second, Stephen Drew, 8 for 18 career now against James Shields. And if you thought that was a wah, Danny Espinosa. Way out.
Park, Friday, June 10th. Monday here in Chicago was Ferris Bueller's day off in homage of the 80s. So the leg warmers are going to be there 5 to 6:30. First 20,000 fans get a Nationals fanny pack. 7:05 start against the Phils. Be there in your DeLorean.
Max Scherzer, meanwhile, is pitching tonight. That's 10 pitches, 9 strikes for him. Struck out Adam Eaton. Jackson lined out to Drew, and then Abreu popped up to Zimmerman.
Think he threw some in the cage?
Might have.
It's a long wait.
Our truck was doing some time tracking there, and the Nats have been on offense more than 44 minutes in this game. So 29 minutes for Max Scherzer between the bottom of the first and the bottom of this inning. He's gone 2-1 on Frazier, who's 0 for 5 career against him with an RBI. And Todd Frazier chops one to left side. Rendon's got to be quick. On target. Perfect play. 4 straight to start the game, and good plays already by Drew and Rendon.
Well, Todd Frazier can run a little bit, so that's a nice play by Anthony Rendon. On the run, field off the left, throw off the right with something on it. Well, he gets a lot on it, doesn't he, for how low he releases it on that play? Nicely done.
Here's Melky Cabrera. Fastball right above belt high for a strike. Max looking for win number 112 tonight. It's his 244th career start.
I think you saw that little mannerism, that little motion with Max between the last 2 pitches. He's trying to tell himself, stay on top of the baseball. Don't spin out on it.
Pulling the string with a curveball at 80. He had to gear up to catch up with a heater after that curve. That was a 16-mile-an-hour difference. Change up, 3-2.
Challenge fastball. Fly ball left field corner, long way for Worth. And Jason taking a very sound, safe approach, trying to slide toward it.
Yeah, not an easy play in a foreign ballpark. And I think he might have thought that fence was a little closer than it was. Good effort.
3-2 again with one out. Melky Cabrera continues to foul off fastballs. Here's the entire at bat from Nissan. Pitch number 9 coming. Popped him up. Wilson Ramos just now throwing away the mask. 2 outs. Good battle, 9 pitches. Next 5 ball games, and 4 of them are at home. Tomorrow night it's Gio here against Miguel Gonzalez, former Oriole, who's 0-1 for the Sox. The Phillies are in for 3. Make a note of the special starting time, noon Saturday. And then the Cubs are in for 3 starting Monday.
Did you see Vince Velasquez today? Left after 2 pitches against the Cubs. His first fastball was 86. His second fastball was 86. Pete McCannon came out, took him out of the game, and said he's got bicep something tendonitis. You hope it's not anything worse.
Good, a big time young talent there.
Yeah, good young pitcher, throws 95 to 98.
So here's Jimmy Rollins hitting .224 with a couple of home runs, 5 stolen bases. Struggling from the left side at 184. Jimmy 0 for 5 career against Max Scherzer, now 36 years of age. .224 in 144 games for the Dodgers last year. 1 hit in the division series. First year with the Phillies, 2000. Great fastball tailing to the outside edge. His numbers against the Nationals career. I was a little surprised by the home runs, 18. This one popped up again. Left side, Anthony Rendon. Max Scherzer 6 in a row to start his night. Rendon leads off top of the 3rd. Nets by 6.
Anthony Rendon set to lead off here in the third. We've talked about how hot Rendon has been offensively the last handful of weeks. Last night, home run to left field, doubled down the right field line, production all across the diamond. Dusty Baker said earlier today that while Rendon is a good hitter going the other way, he actually felt like Rendon had too much of a right field mindset early on this season. He likes how Rendon of late has started turning on pitches and bringing them more to the pull side. He says it's great when a hitter can go the other way. He felt Rendon was a little too opposite field reliant. He's been turning on pitches more and bringing them back to the left field side as well lately, guys.
That was quite short on James Shields' 80th pitch of the night. By the way, that's Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
Do you remember who used to do that too before Davey Johnson got a hold of him? Ian Desmond.
Ian Desmond, yeah.
Used to try to force the ball to right field. Davey said, catch it out front, start pulling it, do some damage.
Strong guys with quick bats.
I mean, if the pitch is out there and you can drive it the other way, go ahead. But don't take that inside fastball and push it that way. Force it. Dusty wants you to turn and burn on that and wrap it around the foul pole.
Inside the numbers on Rendon from Jeep. Last 25 games, fantastic. Look at the batting average, the on-base percentage, the on-base plus slugging, extra base hits, RBIs, all piling up. Shields at the knees. 3-1. Even more games with 2 hits or more than Daniel Murphy during that time. Murphy has 27 on the year. And there goes a base hit to left. Nationals 8 hits.
There goes the 7-hitter.
8 hits. 16 batters have been up there. There have been 2 walks.
Well, that's right on cue what Dan was talking about. Got a pitch he could pull, 3-1 count. And here comes Robin Ventura, and that's going to do it for James Shields.
This is going to be fun to listen to this.
Not for James Shields.
No, sir. So the Nats go 8 for 14 against him tonight with 2 walks, 8 hits, 6 runs. James Shields brought a 2.48 ERA into this start. That's going to go way up. Retired 6 batters, gave up 6 runs on 8 hits. Here's Zach Putnam, 28-year-old right-hander out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. Pitched for the Wolverines, originally drafted by the Indians, and it's his 21st appearance for the Sox.
My dyslexia gave me the wrong ERA for Shields. 4.28 coming in. So that thing's headed for 5+. Here's Stephen Drew. He's one of the Nats, and there are 5 of them who have faced Putnam before. Drew 0 for 1 against him. Espinosa, Harper, Revere, Zimmerman have faced this right-hander before. How to play left side. How about Drew leading off the second?
Well, in Philadelphia, he had the inside the Parker. This one he gets the trot on. That's a no-doubter. Had the sound. Got a pitch up. Number 6 in the sequence, right in the power zone.
So Drew now 11 hits for the Nats, 5 extra base hits, 4 of them home runs.
Pretty good ratio.
That's the thing about the guys coming off the Nats bench as a rule. Drew, Robinson, Heisey, they are not singles guys. They've come off the bench and done damage in big situations.
It's kind of ideally what you want your bench to be. You know, maybe one speed guy that could lead off an inning, steal a base or pinch run, and the rest of the guys, you know, if you put a pinch hitter up there late, you want some catch-up power.
2-2 pitch. And Drew identifies the off speed.
Yeah, pretty much 2 pitches from Putnam. Fastball split. He'll throw occasional cut fastball, but the fastball average is 91, the split 84.
Drew reaches out, hits it up the middle. Anthony Rendon stops at second. Back-to-back hits.
Boy, and you're a bench guy and you don't play every day and you're 2 for 2 in the 3rd inning with a home run. That's already a good night. He wants more, but nicely done. Wait, we got some more homer highlights? Why not? Ball flying here at U.S. Cellular Field. Little skip from Danny Espinosa.
Wow.
He's skipping out of the box too if I hit that one. Cody Ross had the best skip out of the box on a home run.
Danny Espinosa hit 13 home runs all of last year. Drew was ready to go to second, but Anthony Rendon had a good view of the baseball and didn't go. So Steven, a good job of picking up the runner ahead of him before he retreated. Espinosa's 13 homers last year came in 367 at bats. So this year he has 9 in 185 ABs. Letting it hang out on a 1-0 pitch. To the second baseman. Laurie turns one way, and Espinosa way too fast to be doubled up. On the 4-6, 1 out. Runners at first and third.
Kind of deliberate feed by Laurie right there. A guy that's played a lot of third base in his career. Looked kind of mechanical right there as he gave that ball to Jimmy Rollins. He didn't have a chance once he took that long with that feed.
Our stat guy Carter Myers passed along to me that since the Nats trailed last night 5-2, they have scored 14 unanswered runs in this series.
They scored 10 in Cincinnati on Sunday. It was 5-0 in that game.
Yeah. Not giving up a lead early tonight, jumping all over the opposing starter. Ben Revere's 1 for 2, base hit up the middle last time up.
So 24 unanswered runs in the last 3 games.
Well, the 5 last night came in the middle of the 10 plus 10.
Yeah, I got to stay away from math. That's my bad.
It's all right.
No, you see, every time I try to jump into the smart guy stuff with numbers, I screw it up. So I'm done.
Well, you'll take 10, give up 5, and then score 14 more unanswered anytime.
Okay. You lost me at 10.
Nats on the verge of double-digit hits already. And Revere up the middle for an RBI hit. Ben Revere is 2 for 3. And now in his last 3 games, he's been on base 7 times. Nats lead 7-0. That's the final run to be charged to James Shields.
Line moving here in the 3rd again. Redskins 7, Bears nothing. I'll tell you what, I said in the open, and I believe this wholeheartedly, not to put too much pressure on Ben Revere, but we saw what a good leadoff hitter can do with Denard Span, how he can change a game simply by getting on base. And since Ben Revere has been getting on base via the hit or the walk, things have changed around here. You know, you get a speed guy on, you start thinking about him. It might not be as obvious as you would think watching at home, but now I'm thinking about Ben Revere on first. I got to throw a fastball. If this guy, so not to put too much pressure on Ben, but in these parts, we've seen the last couple of years what Denard Span meant to this ball club when he was healthy. Kind of changes the whole dynamic of the lineup as a whole. When Ben Revere gets on, he goes, the rest of the ball club goes.
So Shields goes 2+, 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. The wild pitch, 3 homers, 84 pitches, 44 strikes. Worth has been on twice, a walk, a run, and a base hit.
You remember in 14 when Span and Rendon got on every single night. When they both got on, the game was over. It changed the whole dynamic, how other guys were pitched, the pressure it put on the defense, the pressure it put on the pitcher. I think the same applies for the guy you're looking at.
Espinosa at second, Revere at first. Tremendous speed on the bases here. 0-2 and Worth just casually takes the changeup. One and two.
Ticked it.
Yeah, it takes another changeup. Got a piece of it. Bryce Harper started this barrage with a bunt.
And if you called that one, go to Vegas.
Worth lifting one to left, went down and got it. Short of the track, Melky Cabrera. Espinosa tagged, stops, and returns. 2 outs. PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Offense by month. Runs per game up in May. Quantum leap in June. Batting average up in May. Big time leap in June. And the slugging, the same pattern. All 3 categories.
Getting better every month.
Harper bunt base hit, a called strikeout. So Bryce has 5 hits in his last 3 games. Sac fly thrown in. And that thing had some late dive on it. Harper 1 for 1 against Zach Putnam career.
I think Bryce is second to Dexter Fowler now in the National League All-Star voting for outfielders.
Yeah, he's the leading vote getter in right field. He's throwing some reverse frisbee changeups up there.
And all the Nats fans complaining about all the Cubs getting votes. Well, do something about it.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can do something about. You can vote up to 35 times. Right now the team dominated by Cubs. I think there were 5 of them out of the 8. (0-2). And Harper, a fly ball to left for Cabrera. First time tonight a White Sox pitcher puts a 0 on the board. Shields knocked out. The Nats did get a run this inning, pardon me.
A fun weekend series. 80s night on Friday. We've told you about that. Senior stroll the bases on Saturday. Kids poster presented by the Peanuts on Sunday. Visit nationals.com/tickets today. Weather's supposed to be nice. Nats are back at town. Their white unis. Be at the yard this weekend. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it could be 90s on Saturday and Sunday. The aforementioned National League All-Star voting. So Dexter Fowler up the middle. Addison Russell, Ben Zobrist Cubs, Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo at the corners. So they dominate the infield. Molina of St. Louis, Cespedes of New York, Harper of Washington. They won again today and they're 41-17. Brett Laurie.
I think Murph's second in the voting. So something needs to be done about that. Ben Zobrist, you just saw leading it.
Max Scherzer first 2 innings, 28 pitches, 19 strikes. First pitch strikes to everyone. Look at that slider. Took him right down. And Brett Laurie is 0 for his last 14. Mercedes-Benz will strike out number 2.
Well, the body language from Max Scherzer tells me he knows he's got it going on. See a little kind of strut off the mound as the slider broke out of the zone. Little mannerisms you look at when you watch Max Scherzer pitch besides the stuff, which is great tonight.
Dan Jennings warming. Alex Avila, 7 years with the Tigers. 242 career hitter. Picked up by the White Sox as a free agent December 4th. 222, couple of RBIs, facing Scherzer. First time, of course, they know each other quite well. And a fly ball to left. It'll send Jason Worth nearly to the track. Surprising carry on that ball, right into the breeze. Let's look at the American League voting leaders. Jackie Bradley Jr. of the Red Sox with that tremendous hitting streak of his. Bogarts, their shortstop. How about that corner? Manny Machado on one side, Eric Hosmer the other, and Royals well represented. David Ortiz, the DH.
That's a good team.
Jose Altuve.
Salvador Perez could not catch Manny Machado last night.
Fastball fouled off by Avisail Garcia, the DH tonight. 21-year-old outfielder from Venezuela. White Sox got him from Detroit in a 3-team deal involving the Red Sox. Jake Peavy, Jose Iglesias part of that. And on the appeal, 1-1. 2-for-9 career with a home run against Max Scherzer.
There's like an unwritten time rule on the appeal. If you wait too long, they never give it to you. If you wait, I don't know, more than 5 seconds and don't ask quickly, they'll never ring a guy up. And don't ask me why that is. That's just how it's been forever. If you sit there, and somebody on the bench says, check it, it's too late by then.
Oh-2 pitch. 9 in a row to start the game for Max Scherzer.
Well, we said same seats on offense, same seats on defense. Don't move a muscle, folks. He's having one of those nights.
Baseball is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Tonight, the dramatic skyline of Chicago. Looking to the north from down here, there's the old replica of the scoreboard at Comiskey Park. The first exploding scoreboard in sports. Things used to twirl around. Right across the street. I heard a funny thing about this ballpark compared to old Comiskey. The first row of the upper deck here is as high as the last row of the upper deck at the old ballpark. Dan Jennings pitched last night.
A 2-pitch guy, fastball 90, slider 83. Have they had disco demolition night around here anytime?
That is never going to happen again. Turned into a riot, and they had to cancel the second game of a doubleheader. Maybe Bill Veck's greatest idea ever when you think about it. So Jennings faced 2 hitters last night. Harper hit one off the center field wall against him, and then he got Daniel on a fly ball to center.
When I think of old Comiskey, I think of guys playing in V-neck shirts and shorts.
Yeah.
I think of Carlton Fisk, and I think of Disco Demolition Night.
Remember Harry Carey going crazy when Billy Melton hit his 30th home run. He and Dick Allen, some called him Richie Allen, the only two White Sox to ever lead the American League in home runs, and they have those kind of hopes for Todd Frazier this year. He could do it.
Well, that's how Harry singing the 7th inning stretch started. It was at Comiskey, and he used to sing it to himself, and they'd walk by the booth and hear him singing it so bad they said, hey, as kind of a promotional thing, why don't you sing it out the booth? And he started doing it. I think Bill Veeck was actually walking by and they'd hear Harry singing it. So hey, sing it to the fans that bad. And he did. It caught on at Comiskey. Then he became the Cubs announcer, and the rest is history.
There's Belton, Billy Melton, Harold Baines, a lot of great years across the street. Fantastic left-handed hitter. The Nats could lead the Mets by 4.5 at the end of tonight. Could. We'll see. There's Wilson Ramos, 0 for 1 career with a walk against Dan Jennings. Strike call right in there. And Ramos takes the breaking ball down and in. So Wilson tonight, an RBI grounder, a walk. He's driven in 33. Murphy's up to 38. Zimmerman's up to 28 with his 2-run homer.
Trying to check into the hit parade. He's the only guy not in there.
Seeing it so well. 2-1. Look out. Screaming line drive over the dugout.
Saw one of the cutest things ever after the ball game last night, walking down the tunnel. Saw Wilson's daughter with a red Nats jersey on, number 40, and it said Buffalita on it.
Yeah.
On the back.
Little Buffalo. Huh?
And she's adorable.
Two-2 to Ramos. Just waiting for that breaking ball, and he fouled it off. High chopper out to short. Rollins to Laurie, and that's a 6-4-3. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank. For the Achiever and you, our regular check-in on Lucas Giolito, who's been good lately. 3-0 last 4 starts. ERA 1.88, 25 Ks.
I think I heard somewhere when the weather heats up, he's going to heat up. I don't know.
I think you said that.
Yeah, Southern California kid, man. He's not used to pitching in the cold. Look at him go.
Yeah, getting loose, staying loose in warm weather. Big thing for pitchers. Ryan Zimmerman. 2-run homer first inning, robbed of an infield hit by Todd Frazier. Second inning. He's 0 for 2 career against Jennings.
Got to be ready against Jennings. He kind of rushes it up there with his delivery. I always thought as a leg kick guy or a timing guy like Ryan and Ben Revere, it's harder to hit guys in the stretch than it is in the windup. When they're in the windup, you have lots of time to do all your things before he releases the baseball. But you know, out of the stretch, sometimes they can vary their speeds, vary their deliveries. Like, watch how quick Jennings is to the plate. So that doesn't give Ryan a lot of time to do all of his things.
Yeah, he really kind of gets herky-jerky into that, doesn't he?
That kind of got by him right there because of the delivery. And when you're facing different guys every inning, when do I start? It's kind of a feel thing for Zimmerman based on a lot of years of doing the same thing.
Two with 2 outs. Ryan drives it to right. And right there is Adam Eaton. So there's a scoreless inning for the White Sox staff. Took them a while.
Four-run lead in the top of the first. Max Scherzer has been free and easy with all of his pitches here tonight. 3 strikeouts on the night. 1 in the first, Adam Eaton, then Brett Laurie in the third, and Garcia as well. Toyota Case for Kids, Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making that $37 donation to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
Max Scherzer, 3 strikeouts. First 9 Chicago batters. Adam Eaton went down swinging first time. 37 pitches, 27 strikes, first 3 innings. Well hit to left. Worth can't get there. One hops the wall. And the White Sox have their first base runner on a double by Adam Eaton.
Ninth double of the year from Adam Eaton, and I thought that might be one of Max's tougher outs tonight. You know, very right-handed dominant lineup the White Sox have here, and he's been taking advantage of that. And Eaton with a nice with a nice swing to left. Got a fastball, I think, on the inner half and kind of inside out at it as it tailed away.
There's Austin Jackson. Hit the ball hard first time. Drew speared his liner to Stevens' right as it was trying to head up the middle. So Max from the stretch, first time during the game. always dominant in the middle of the game. Outfield around to the right except for Worth. Two, and it's right at Danny Espinosa. So Jackson's hit the ball hard twice. He's 1 for 2. First out, 4th inning.
MLB TV, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Michael Conforto has just gone deep for the Mets to tie that game in the 8th at Pittsburgh. Here's Jose Abreu, popped up to Ryan Zimmerman first time.
You see Max going 96 right there. Abreu going for the first pitch ambush. Max usually throws that first strike 93, 92 when he goes fastball. That time he humped up on the 2-strike fastball in an 0-0 count, and Abreu was late.
He bolts that one to the knees. Outside edge. Back-to-back 96. Nissan will track it.
Well, he's getting a pair of 96s here because there's a runner in scoring position, and he's a good hitter. Not messing around.
Then the changeup. Looked like a fastball for a while. Strikeout number 4.
Well, it's just a guy that knows what he's doing, right? I mean, throttle up, runner in scoring position, 296s to the off-speed pitch, and Abreu way out in front. 3-pitch, see ya.
Next up, Todd Frazier. Anthony Rendon made a good play to throw him out first time.
Max is like that shortstop that makes the routine play, kind of gets rid of it quick, but then he goes into the hole and he stands up and he shows the cannon when he needs it. That's his extra fastball. Runners in scoring position, 2 strikes late in the game. You're seeing it right now to a couple good hitters every pitch.
Yeah, he's using his late game stuff and velocity to take on the middle of the order here as we approach the middle of the game.
Just turn the dial up a little bit.
Frazier, some interesting little taps of the bat there. Reached out, put both hands up around the trademark for a moment.
Trying to get that pine tar in his batting gloves.
Had him reaching, might have broken that bat. Espinosa throws him out. Leadoff double, no problem for Max. Big lead into the 5th.
it's go hard or go home. Y'all can't stop me when I'm in my zone. Main objective to be the best. Be head and shoulders above the rest. Stand tall, let 'em know I'ma swing for the fences. I'ma hit a home run. I'ma knock it out the park. I'ma swing for the fences. I'ma hit a home run.
Did we throw in a wah right on beat in there?
Oh, who sings that song? Let's stop laughing. That's the Taters, folks, with Swing for the Fences.
Put that on your boombox, Bryce. Top of the fifth, Rendon, Drew, and Espinosa right in there from Dan Jennings. You got a walk, a double play ball, line out last inning. Rendon 1 for 2, fly ball to right, and a bullet to left for a single. Scored the Nats' 7th run on the Revere base hit. Inside out swing on a breaking ball coming in.
Time for your Mercedes-Benz game summary. Visit Mercedes-Benz of Arlington to check out the 2016 CLA 250 lease at just $299 a month. Swing for the Fences by DJ Taters, 7-0 Nats. Max Scherzer's been on point. The offense has scored 27 runs in the last 2.5 games.
That was so sick. Ball one. Watch this.
What do you got? Oh, with the kid.
With the Bambino.
Nicely done. Kid intact. Well played, sir. Oh,
Rendon will spray another souvenir.
He gets another one. It's right at him. Oh. The baby wants the baseball. That's awesome.
Well done, Mom and Dad. Rendon on a breaking ball. Strikes out. Down and in. He thought he might have tipped it.
Trying to sell the Gary Cederstrom that hit the tip of his bat at the end.
Next up, Stephen Drew. Two for two, homer, base hit. And Drew facing Dan Jennings for the first time. Fastball got the inside edge, and Drew's surprised. Boy, he gashes that curveball, and it's right to the right of Jimmy Rollins. 2 outs.
It's not easy doing what Stephen Drew's done tonight. You don't play a whole lot. You get your chance. You hit 3 balls right on the nose. I'm going to stay back on that curveball, left on left. Good swing. Nice play by Jimmy Rollins. And that song stuck in my head. That is just, that's awful.
Can we get it going to break, guys? Espinosa from the right side of the plate now. And from this side of the plate, 3 for 5 career with 2 RBIs, a walk against Dan Jennings. Danny overall right-handed this year, 6 for 39. But he has shown us recent pop from both sides of the dish.
Going for double digits here early.
Yeah.
9 home runs.
So 6 in his last 12 games. 7 of his last 8 hits, extra bases. 1-1 the count. Two outs, top of the 5th inning. Ball game about an hour and 50 minutes old. First inning, second inning took about an hour as the Nats were all over James Shields. 6 runs on 7 hits, first 2 innings, an add-on run in the 3rd. And the Nats trying to clinch the series tonight and then go for the sweep if they can against Gio, or rather behind Gio tomorrow night. And a 1-2 with 2 outs.
At the very least, a 6-9 road trip. Hold on tonight, maybe 7-9, 7-2. There I go with the numbers again. Need to hear that song.
Espinosa out to right center for Austin Jackson. Dana P and Bob announcing in the big leagues. We're swinging for the fences, baby.
Oh, my life is complete.
Bottom of the 5th coming up. Senior strolled the bases. Just isn't for kids anymore. We are out of our minds with the purchase of a special ticket. Fans 62 and older can stroll the bases following the Nats Phils Saturday. To get your senior stroll the bases tickets, visit nationals.com/special ticket events.
If you'd have told me in 2011 when we started together that I could get you to rap someday on the air, I would have said there is no chance. That was awesome, partner.
You don't pull out your whole arsenal until it gets a little later on.
I mean, you're complete. Your broadcasting career is complete now.
I've never felt so serene in the booth as I do right now.
You're good. It's all good.
Melky Cabrera popped up to Ramos on the 9th pitch of an at-bat for the 2nd out back in the 2nd inning. Cabrera, Rollins, and Laurie here, bottom 5. Through 4 innings, Max Scherzer 50 pitches, 36 strikes. And a ball not hit that hard to right. It'll drop in front of Bryce. 2nd hit for the White Sox.
Yeah, bat died a hero. Broken bat single for Melky. Hand still stinging at first base.
He's 3 for 7 in the series. And next up is Jimmy Rollins.
I think he's walking up to that song too.
Rollins pop up to Rendon first time. Strike to the outside edge. Max still dealing. looking for his 7th win of the year and the 112th of his career.
See how far Stephen Drew's over. Remember, Jimmy Rollins, as a member of the Phillies, used to wear out that hole between first and second whenever there was a runner over there. So Stephen Drew playing Rollins to pull, who's basically a pull hitter on the ground, left-handed.
Three and one. Jimmy obviously not going to spend his entire career with the Phillies, but he's up there with 3 other guys in Major League history with 2,000 hits, 350 steals, and 150 homers for one team. Biggio with Houston, Barry Larkin, the Reds, Paul Molitor, the Brewers. And a strike call. Not so fast. It's 3 and 2. Pretty good rip. Rollins pretty low batting average, down around 180 from the left side of the plate this year. Scherzer challenges him and he fouls it again.
Max got the fastball jumping out of his hand here tonight.
Entire at bat from Mercedes. Jimmy signed kind of late with the White Sox. It was February 22nd when they signed him to a free agent deal. Pretty good at bat, and he works the walk. 2 on, nobody out. Max Scherzer, first base on balls. Next up, Brett Lawrie.
He kind of got tired of throwing Jimmy 3-2 fastballs, tried the change up, but it just faded off the plate away, and Rollins saw it early. I think 2 of the biggest things for major league hitters is strike zone awareness and pitch recognition. And the guy that can recognize the pitch earlier than the other guy is going to have an advantage. And the guy that knows the strike zone better than most guys is going to hit for a high average. And I think.
Chopper third, Rendon to the bag, then a throw. Zimmerman stretches and can't hold on. Nearly a 5-3 double play.
If it would have been hit a little bit harder, I was thinking triple play right there. The ball took Rendon toward the third base bag. I just don't think it was hit hard enough because it had a lot of air right there, and then he got the in-between hop. I'm looking at second base, and Jimmy Rollins, who wasn't held on, was there easily. And you see the throw across the diamond. And Ryan stretches as far as he can and can't hold on. Rendon had to hurry because Laurie runs well.
So they get the lead runner. Alex Avila next. He hit a fly ball to Jason Worth first time up. And just 2 years ago, these were battery mates. Dan Coco reports they are still good friends. Keep in touch. And I'm sure he used to catch some of those changeups just as good as that one.
You go to the postseason with guys, you go to a World Series, you have friends forever. That's a bond that's never broken. So it's not surprising to me that Max is still friends with a lot of the guys on the Tigers.
Didn't look like he stopped. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. Avila has bounced into 2 double plays this year.
The inside of this park with all the gray looks like we're playing in an aircraft carrier.
It does.
Or a battleship.
Yeah. When this place opened, it had kind of some light blue seats that gave it some color. They went to the dark green seats in one of their remodels here.
The SS Comiskey.
The upper deck sits way away from the field. There's no overhang here. 1-2 pitch. Changeup. Locked him up again. 2 outs. Strikeout number 5.
Remember the changeup against the Phillies last time for Max was on point all game. It was his best secondary pitch, and tonight all of a sudden he's got the feel for it. Last couple innings going to the changeup. Second time around the White Sox order. I think I said it was Pedro Martinez-like last start against the Phillies.
Avisail Garcia. Max struck him out. The 9th batter in a row to start the game. Front door on the breaking ball there. The slider fouled off. Base at right field. Here comes Harper. They're going to send the runner. And it's a one-hopper out at the plate.
Don't run on Bryce.
Joe McEwing told me today he has studied hours and hours of Bryce Harper's defense and throwing. Says nobody gets to a ball better and releases it quicker. But with 2 outs, he decided to send the runner.
Well, Jimmy Rollins not as quick as he used to be. Bryce Harper as quick as he's ever been. A perfect one-hop throw right on the money. And Bryce just loves when somebody tries to test his arm. That's a gun.
fireworks. The Nats don't have a hit since the third. White Sox haven't been able to muster any scoring offense. Freight rear works with our do-ups. And so since the 10-run come from behind win at Cincinnati Sunday, Ben Revere 5 for 11 scoring. Worth batting .500, extra base hit. Bryce Harper 5 for 12. He drove in 3 here last night. Zach Duke. He pitched 2/3 of an inning last night, gave up a hit and a run, a couple of walks, a strikeout. Ben Revere 1 for 2 career against him. And a chopper. One hop to Zach. 1 out, top of the 6th. Nats box score. Multi-hit nights for Revere and Drew. RBI first inning Murphy, Ramos, 2 by Zimmerman on his homer. Drew and Espinosa went back-to-back, leading off the second. 7th time the Nats have back-to-back homers this year. And then Revere a tack-on run to make it 7-0 in the third. That is the last Nats hit. So Worth a walk, a base hit, 1 for 2. Seven 10-0 Washington, 0-3-0 White Sox. Big curveball. Worth to the left side. He gets one through. 2 ground ball singles between third and short. And Worth on base for the 3rd time.
I'm going to show you some Geico highlights. There's been a lot of offense tonight, but some pretty good defense too. And this keeps a goose egg on the board for Max Scherzer. Down by 7 runs. That's a very questionable call, as much as I love Joe McEwing. He was one of the favorite guys I ever played against. He was a great minor league manager. He's going to be a great big league manager, but sometimes you get frustrated as a coach and you try to create offense in that third base box. But that wasn't a good send.
So Bryce, a bunt hit, 1 for 3, runs scored. Trying to hang in there on that breaking ball. Bryce hit the sac fly against Duke last night. Went the other way to left field.
Kind of guy you think about driving the ball to left field, knocking down the left center field wall. Look for something out over and hit it hard the other way. And looks like
with that in mind.
Yeah.
able to stay alive. Worth camped at first, one out, top of the 6th. That is a fair ball down the left field line. Worth will make the turn, go to third, right in front of Melky Cabrera. Bryce Harper into second base. 2 for 4 with another extra base hit. Textbook hitting against a lefty, huh?
No, it's the approach you have to have against the lefty. You know, just don't fillet it that way. Think about staying in there and driving it. You see the front side closed. He let it get deep. Maybe early in the count he spun out of there, but he made the adjustment as the at-bat went. And when Bryce Harper is hitting the ball to left field, good things are about to happen. That's when he starts hitting pull side home runs.
So Bryce 9 doubles to go with 13 home runs. Infield in with Murphy. 3 for 5 career against Zach Duke. Duke hit him with a pitch last night. Right up the middle. Pretty good pick by Zach Duke for the second out.
Well, he's in good position. Ball hit hard. Square up. Glove down. Put Jason Worth back. Go to first base. They're not going contact. Not up by 7. They were making that be through the infield all the way. Good swing, bad luck. Nice play by Zach Duke.
Wilson Ramos bases loaded walk against Zach Duke last night. 0 for 2 tonight with an RBI grounder back in the first.
Foul tip got him.
Yeah, Gary Cederstrom going for a stroll, giving Avila some time. And a 1-1 pitch.
It's so impressive about what Wilson's done early in the season. He gets beat up like that every night. Foul tips. Balls in the dirt ricocheting off him. I think Dusty's done a nice job of getting Jose Lobaton in there with Gio to keep Wilson Ramos fresh. And when he's playing 4 days out of 5, maybe not grinding as much as he has in the past.
Broken bat. It's up the middle. Rollins knows he has time. Ramos is out. Nats get a couple of hits, strand 2 runners. So tonight they've scored 7 and left 6. Big lead. John Lackey led the Cubs to their 41st win of the year, and he is 7-2. Josh Donaldson, 3 bags, 3 hits against the Tigers today. Jameson Taillon, a big-time prospect for the Pittsburgh Pirates, or rather Taillon, pardon me, called up by the Pirates. He started the game against the Mets tonight. 3 runs, 6 hits, goes down as a quality start, and they are still tied in the 9th inning of that game, 5-5. Now they're into the 10th. James Taillon. Remember that name for the battling Bucks. Jameson Taillon from Lakeland, Florida, in the Bryce Harper draft class. There's Adam Eaton. So 5 innings, Max Scherzer, 72 pitches, 52 strikes. Manny Machado in that group as well. General manager salivating back in 2010.
Yeah.
Owners knowing cha-ching is coming. And Bryce has been in the big league since 2012. 1 year and 1 month in the minor leagues for Bryce. Fastball inside. Eaton a double over Jason Worth's head. Last time up, leading off the 4th, he never made it beyond second base. Max bowed his neck, got Jackson, Abreu, and Frazier. Over to Ryan Zimmerman on the changeup, had him way out ahead, 1 out. White Sox box score. Virtually nothing this evening other than the Eaton double. Melky Cabrera broke his bat on a leadoff single last inning. Jimmy Rollins walked and was eventually thrown out at the plate by Bryce Harper for the last out of the inning. That is it. On the Garcia base hit, that happened. Perfect heater at the knees.
Got a good rhythm, got a good pitch count.
And this one to short right center. Stephen Drew out there. He's shortstop by trade. Great range. They're in plenty of time. 2 outs.
The Peanuts are back at the Fitz in Woodbridge, Virginia. 4-game set beginning Thursday. Highlights include $1 drink specials, Anthony the Ant Rendon figurine giveaway, and Rapping Bob Carpenter on Sunday. To join the party at the Fitz, call the number on your screen or go to PotomacNationals.com. Freestyle Rapping Bob Carpenter.
Yeah, that'll be by phone.
Yes.
We are working.
It's all right.
No. It was a great run, but the rap career is over. Lasted a half inning. Enjoyed every moment of it.
Big chains and medallions off finally. You've been blinding the outfielders with your bling.
I got to go get a jet black car like yours. Put a lot of stuff on it.
I can't believe you did that. It's amazing. Maybe the highlight of our...
I could be the first guy to rap and do the senior stroll around the bases in the same week. 2-0 to Abreu.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Max just on cruise control right now. 7-run lead. Nice and relaxed. He's been free and easy since that 4-run first. Going right after guys. Hey, base hit. Fill up the strike zone.
Inside out swing, Abreu. That'll get his hitting streak to 5 games. He's 8 for his last 19. Jose Abreu had 2 hits and a sac fly last night. Also lined down, so he's swinging the bat pretty well. But you'll give that guy 3 singles in a series. Here's Todd Frazier, who's hit 2 ground balls tonight. Well, Max didn't put it right where Ramos wanted it, but that's even better. Ball came running inside. Zimmerman, no problem. To the 7th, the Nats by 7.
So you want to see some DJ Taters? Ryan Zimmerman in the first, his 9th. Stephen Drew, his 4th in the second. Then I think that's the 5th time they've gone back-to-back this year, if I'm not mistaken. Seventh time they've gone back-to-back this year. So check out the hit speed of the distance on the homers. 106, 97, 103. It's really fast.
All that brought to you by Jeep. Nate Jones, 30-year-old right-hander, pitched at Northern Kentucky University, drafted by the White Sox, 5th round back in 07. 25th appearance this year with a 3.18 ERA, 20 Ks in 23 innings.
Wait till you see this delivery. Fastball, slider, change. And do you remember that movie Rookie of the Year when the kid pitched for the Cubs?
Yeah.
He had that weird delivery. Watch this. I think that's a movie.
First pitch, Zimmerman, high fly ball, right field line. Adam Eaton. It's a foul ball when he makes the grab.
Watch this. Just kind of takes it out of his glove, sets it up there.
That's not what you would call hiding the baseball.
No, he goes full Statue of Liberty, then fires her in there.
Here's Anthony Rendon. Zimmerman 0 for 2 with that out against Nate Jones. Rendon sees him for the first time.
We talked about picking up release points. We showed you all the Nats starters release points. This is a tough one to find.
This out of play over the dugout.
Plus it's 96, 97.
His rookie year in 12, he was 8-0 out of the bullpen. Swooped in, got a bunch of come from behind wins. Tyler Clippard had a season like that. He went double digits, didn't he, one year? And that's over to Todd Frazier. What a gun. 2 outs. Here comes Stephen Drew, and with more, here's Dan.
Bob, Stephen Drew lined out sharply his last time up. Here are his last 5, or his prior 5 plate appearances prior to that sharply hit line drive, bad luck out. Pinch hit inside the park home run, pinch hit walk, pinch hit RBI single, home run, single. So it's a lot tougher to notice a guy is really on a roll when he's only getting a couple at-bats a week, but Stephen Drew is really locked in right now.
Yeah, if they had an extra man of the week in the National League, he'd be the guy.
They should have that.
Drew has faced Jones before, base on balls, 1 plate appearance. He got Zimmerman on 1 pitch against first batters in an inning this year when he comes in. They're hitting about 0-40 against him.
Started doing this delivery in 2012. Just kind of takes the ball straight back instead of making that loop with his arm. Wanted to add some deception to his delivery. And wouldn't you know, he's a Tommy John guy. July 30th, 2014. Just different. You don't see this every day.
Two to Drew, and that's going to have enough cut on it to come right back over the outside edge. So we are at the 7th inning stretch in Chicago. 7-0 Nationals. Broadcast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Things moving quickly in Chicago, especially the Washington offense. We're going bottom 7. Max Scherzer, 85 pitches, 60 strikes. Took him a while in the 5th inning because of a base hit and a walk leading off the frame, and a base hit later, but Bryce kept the attempted shutout intact with a throw home that got Jimmy Rollins. It's outside to Melky Cabrera. who's had a good series, 3 for 7 so far. He rips one to left. That guy's always been a good hitter. Melky Cabrera, .285 career average. 9+ years with the Yankees, Atlanta, KC, Giants, Blue Jays, White Sox coming in. Here's Jimmy Rollins, who walked last time. And he got jammed. Ramos measuring it, facing the screen, makes the catch.
So 88 pitches now for Max. And I think the 6th inning really where he had to step on the gas, or maybe the 4th and 5th inning, looking at my scorecard again, check that, where he had to step on the gas. So there's been some high stress in those 88 pitches. I was talking about don't worry about the number. Where did he really redline? And I think the 4th with the runner on 2nd, and last inning for sure.
Brett Laurie has struck out and hit into a 5 unassisted fielder's choice.
Got a red mouthpiece tonight.
A little disconcerting from the tight center camera.
Yeah, I agree.
See if the Nats can turn a couple on a quick runner. No chance. 6-4 on the fielder's choice, 2 down.
So the feed from Danny Espinosa took Stephen Drew towards center field, and these are guys that don't turn double plays every day. So how do I like the feed? Well, maybe Stephen Drew likes it in front of the bag, and watch where the throw from Espinosa takes him, kind of behind his body. Now he doesn't get any momentum on the throw. You know, if you kind of lead him into the runner right there, you don't have to worry about getting crushed anymore. Get off a good throw. That time Stephen Drew with a fast runner couldn't get anything on the throw because of the momentum he didn't have.
Here's Alex Avila. First pitch curveball right over the inside corner.
I'm trying to think if this is going to be Scherzer's last inning. 111 pitches last start. 7-0 lead. I mean, is a shutout doable? I mean, that's all you really think about right now if you're Dusty Baker. Do you leave him in with 94 pitches? I don't think so. But we'll see what happens.
It's June 8th. Max has been known to lobby to stay in ball games, and that's what you want out of a guy like him. Ramos moves the target to the outside edge, and Max threw that on the other side of the plate, but a foul ball.
It's a fun thing to talk about, you know, 95 pitches, 7-0 lead.
And really, the Nats got through last night's game. I mean, Blake Trinan had to throw 3 innings and threw a lot of pitches, 66. But when your starter only goes 4 and you get through the whole game with only 3 other guys, Dusty said having Max out there tonight helped him make some of those decisions because he knew his horse was coming the next night. Low and away.
Well, I know if it's up to Max, what's going to happen.
Yeah, you know he wants to stay. Target right down the middle, low in the zone, and Scherzer has to shut it down on time given. Swing and a miss. Max Scherzer, not a ton of Ks, 6 on the night, but 7 innings speaks for itself. Got a big lead early. She's been pitching like it's 1-0.
Mike Maddox has his clicker. That's the pitch count. He's showing Max Scherzer. 97 is the number on there. I'm telling you, Max is tough to get out of a baseball game. He wants to go the distance every single time he's on the mound, and they're kind of going over the high stress pitches maybe and who's coming up. But as far as we know, we did not see any handshakes in the Nats dugout between innings.
Here's David Robertson, their closer, getting some work in the 8th inning. 31 years of age. Most of his career with the Yankees, but the last year he came over here, appeared in 60 ball games, had 34 saves. He has 13 in 15 chances this year.
I don't know. He's still in the dugout. He's not usually in the dugout between innings. Nobody throwing, though.
For the Nats, Espinosa, Revere, and Worth. Top 8. Max 111 pitches at Philadelphia, 8 innings. And there was, or were, 2 days off for the ball club since the last time he pitched. So
good call.
It's not an every 5th day thing at the moment because of the weird nature.
But this is like seeing, you know, a UFO or something. We never see Max Scherzer in the dugout between innings. Maybe because it's an American League game.
Right side, Brett Laurie into the outfield. That pulled Abreu off the bag, and Danny Espinosa could be 2 for 4. His speed influences that play and how it's made.
Let's look at it again. You make the call. You'd be the official scorekeeper at home.
Throw right on the bag would have gotten him. But a tough throw because of where you're playing and where you're throwing from. It's a single for Danny Espinosa. He's
nice.
2 for 4. Official scorer sitting right next to us up here. Sits in a booth all by himself, not in the press box with others around here in Chicago.
Oh, he shouldn't have told me that. I'm going to get in trouble now.
I thought about giving a thumbs up before his call. Maybe now I'll give him one after the call. Ben Revere has a 2-for-4 night with an RBI single back in the third. Revere 1 for 2 against David Robertson. Nationals have 13 hits. Bottom of the 10th, Pirates trailing the Mets 6-5. They have a runner at third down to their final out. Familia in trying to save it for New York and break a 3-game Mets losing streak. Revere with a good rip. Robertson 94 career saves. His high 39 with the Yankees 2 years ago. That bullpen has ridiculous arms in it in the Bronx. And Revere just strokes that breaking ball to left field. He reacted at the very last minute thinking it might be a strike, and Ben Revere is 3 for 5.
But that's the Ben Revere that we saw with Philadelphia and Toronto last year. When he's going that way, we showed him move the shortstop Saldino last night just a couple of steps to his right. It was a base hit, and now he goes the other way for his 3rd hit of the game. Here comes Ben Revere.
On base 8 times in the last 3 games now. Revere. Felipe Rivero throwing. Jason Worth on base 3 times tonight. 2 for 3 with a walk, a run scored. 0 for 2 career against Robertson.
He's doing that wear out the 5.5 hole thing. We've seen him do that before. He goes on stretches where he just uses that almost like he can steer it through there.
We got a heater down the middle, a little late for him. The thing cutting down and away, and a pretty good grab by Alex Avila.
Robertson had that inning in Kansas City on the White Sox last road trip where they were up by 7. And Robin Ventura needed his closer to get some work. He put him in there and they lost the ball game.
So Jason Worth takes it into a full count. He turns on one. Left field. See you later. 3 hits for Worth, up to 30 RBIs with his 10th homer, and the Nats lead 10-0. How about 3 games in a row with 10 runs?
Yeah, he just took the words right out of my mouth. 30 runs and counting the last 2+ games. Have a night, Jason Worth on base 4 times, 3 hits, and his 10th home run of the year. And this was not cheap. See the location mistake? They wanted it away. Watch the bat flip. Boom. Casual. Subtle. Oh, that was loud. DJ Taters shows up again. I'm going to knock it out the park.
You talked about how much he enjoys DHing. He must really enjoy the night after he DHs. (10-0) Nationals. Nobody out in the 8th inning. And this is their closer getting some work. Bryce Harper's 2 for 4. (10-9) at Cincinnati, 10-5 at Chicago last night, 10-0 tonight.
Ten is the magic number.
Harper lashes one to right, and he's 3 for 5. Look out, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Revere's getting on base. Bryce Harper is back. And the Nats are hard to pitch to. Second time in team history. They did it late June in the first championship season of 2012.
I want to say that was against the Cubs at home when they were hitting all those home runs.
Yeah.
Just a guess. Not afraid to be wrong for the 12th time tonight.
Murphy.
Like I said, that way they were at Colorado. I was just going to say that.
I know, but they did score a lot of runs in that Cubs series. It featured some out, not between the line stuff going on too.
Bo Porter wanted to fight the whole team.
Yeah. Murphy a base hit tonight for an RBI. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. Looking for his 28th multi-hit game. Did you get enough runs tonight, Max?
I think he's done.
Yep. 97 pitches, 68 strikes through 7 great innings. Five hits. No runs. He walked 1, struck out 6. 10 o'clock here in the Midwest. Last night's game, it was 11:06 local time when the last pitch was thrown. So this game's flying compared to last night.
Oh.
4 hits in a row here in the 8th. Murphy takes the breaking ball in the dirt. 3-2. Swing and a miss on a challenge eater. First out of the inning. Daniel Murphy strikes out for the 26th time this year.
Ventura, he probably doesn't want to extend his closer any longer. Got his work in and call it a night.
We're about to see the 7th White Sox pitcher of the evening, and that will be Matt Albers, who pitched last night. It's all Nats, 10-0. Seventh opponent of the night. It's Matt Albers, who pitched last night. 28th appearance, 2-4, 4.56 ERA, 17 strikeouts in 25 2/3. He came in the 5th inning last night after Jennings got one batter. And they're warming up J.B. Shuck, who was their DH, batting 7th last night. I mean, they still have to get 4 more outs. Sidewinder Albers misses away.
Chuck's telling me he's never pitched in the big leagues.
(2-0).
We've seen a lot of relievers on this road trip that their last name could have been Chucks.
Or Chuck and Duck.
I wasn't going there.
Base hit. Wilson Ramos, 5th hit of the inning. The White Sox just can't find anybody to get the Nats out.
Swinging it. Line's moving. Offense is cool. 10-0 Redskins. It's good stuff.
Ryan Zimmerman, 1 for 5 career against Albers. Tight slider at the knees, outside edge, 0-2. One-two to Ryan. That one way outside, and both runners will move up. Harper to third, Ramos to second.
Well, now you got a chance to drive in a few. You got to take advantage of nights like this if you're a hitter, because you're going to have those nights where somebody's dealing out there. So even though you might have a few hits and a few RBIs, if they're going to give them to you, you take them. Get greedy on nights like tonight.
So after going 0-2, Albers doing a lot of nibbling. One out, 8th inning. Pitch up high, and almost not connecting with that was the catcher, Avila. Ball really took off on him, and the bases are loaded. Anthony Rendon will be the 8th National to bat in this 8th inning.
And J.B. Shuck obviously up for Stephen Drew for the left-on-left matchup.
Yeah, but somebody's got to pitch the 9th inning. Oh boy. Rendon 1 for 4, base hit, run scored back in the 3rd. Busted bat. The barrel went flying out to the left side of the infield. 2 outs on the catch by Abreu. And it'll be Stephen Drew, who faces Matt Albers for the first time. First pitch, changeup, a little low. So Drew has hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. Second inning solo, right field. Third inning, liner up the middle. Fifth inning, line drive at Jimmy Rollins.
How about a grand slammer-Rooney?
Well, if you want to break the 10-run streak, that's fine with me.
I'm telling you, you got to get well on nights like tonight. You got to feast.
Two one. Then on the ball tailing away, Steven leveled off, fouled it straight back. Third base Bryce Harper pulled a single to right after a Murphy strikeout. Ramos a base hit to left. Then Ryan Zimmerman walked. Anthony Rendon popped up, and here's Drew with 2 outs. 2-2 pitch. And he's getting some rips tonight.
He is.
I mean, this is a week and a half worth of action for Stephen Drew tonight.
But you just don't know how hard it is when you don't play every day to come in and have timing like he has. A guy that's never played on the bench before. He's been a regular his whole career. And to deliver like he's been, it's not that easy.
Hits it hard right at Rollins. On to first and the Nets.
All right, one more time. Turn your TV up. Here he is, DJ Taters, going to break.
Y'all can't stop me when I'm in my zone. Main objective to be the best. Be head and shoulders above the rest. Stand tall, let them know I'ma swing for the fences. I'ma hit a home.
Brought to you by American Standard Heating and Air. It's their all-star sales event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. By visit Annapolis.org, create your moment at
Visit Annapolis.org. And by Dominion, depend on us for more than energy. The Nats are in control of the city of Chicago tonight.
There's our hotel right there. See it? It's right there.
A lot of buildings. A lot of skyscrapers. Worth hit one last time up. The Nats 4 more home runs tonight. 6 outs to get. Here's Felipe Rivero. 24-year-old making his 30th appearance. Todd Frazier's the only White Sox player who's ever faced him. Leading off is Avisail Garcia, the DH. He's 1 for 2 with an opposite field base hit. So Max Scherzer, 7 shutout innings on 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 97 pitches, 68 strikes. Hard ball from Felipe. Wow. Rivera now 35 strikeouts, 7 walks in just over 26 innings.
On 80s night, will you do the Open as an 80s rapper? Maybe get some.
Talk to my agent. You know him.
All right. I want to see if we can work that out.
He's been known to represent semi-talented people.
Or, you know, Run DMC maybe. Run B.
He lost me at Run. Bouncing ball up the middle. Danny Espinosa waiting for it. He's got to unload it. And there's another great smooth pick by Ryan Zimmerman. 2 outs. Dusty couldn't say enough good things about Ryan's defense today after that play he made over by the barrier last night.
That was amazing. One of the better plays you'll see on an over-the-shoulder catch he made last night. But he's getting real comfortable with the pick and being aggressive with it. I like the first baseman that go out and get the baseball versus let it come to you and try to give with it. That's when you often see it hit the heel and kick off. Be aggressive. Go out there and get it like he used to do at third base with a 1-hop line drive. Same way.
Here's Austin Jackson, who's 0 for 3. And Felipe bolts a fastball to the inside edge, right under his hands. And he brings that curveball around for a strike on the other side.
You talk about defensive first baseman. There's a lot of things that go into it, but in my opinion, Adam LaRoche wasn't the best first baseman I've ever seen defensively, but he was the best I've ever seen at picking baseballs out of the dirt.
Yeah.
And he was really good. I mean, don't get me wrong, Gold Glove first baseman, but he was the best because Ian Desmond used to wing him over there about 100 in the dirt, and he would pick him. Brian had his problems at third base, and he would pick him. And I've never seen a guy like LaRoche save as many errors as he did when he was with the Nationals.
And that ball slicing foul into the corner.
That's why when he was DH in here in Chicago, you're like, well, what a waste of an amazing glove.
Well, and Dusty starting to talk about Ryan in those terms. He said, we've got some live arms on this infield. And he has saved a bunch of errors for those guys this year.
He has. He's getting real comfortable over there with what I'm talking about.
Rivero goes changeup, and it's 1-2.
Mark Grace was good at picking, but he used 2 hands all the time. You usually don't see first basemen use 2 hands on picks. Grace did. Keith Hernandez, JT Snow. Yeah, not too many guys do the splits, do they, anymore with the stretch? Doug Fister comes to mind. You remember you used to see guys doing the splits all the time on stretches?
Two and two. Down to Rendon. See how this goes. How about right on target? 1, 2, 3 for Felipe Rivero. To the ninth. Who will be pitching? Can it be Shuck? Let's go Gio. Tomorrow night. 3-4 with a 394. Gio's never beaten the White Sox in his career. 2-1 though on the road this season. Miguel Gonzalez 0-1. 7 games, 6 starts. We'll get you going with Nats Extra. Johnny and Ray 7:30 on Masson 2. Join you from the booth at the top of the hour. And then the Nats, unless something unbelievably bad happens, will be going for the sweep. That is Gio Gonzalez. The G for Gio. So here's J.B. Shuck, first ever pitching appearance at the major league level. 2012 with the then Oklahoma City Redhawks. He pitched an inning and was unscored upon and no hits.
A 4-pitch guy, fastball, slider, curveball change. Fastball averages 78 miles an hour. See, that's a guess. See how hard he throws. He was throwing strikes in warmups.
Danny Espinosa right-handed, 2 for 4 tonight.
Opponents hitting 0 against Shuck on the season. Oh, it's not bad. 88.
That's right. 28-year-old from Westerville, Ohio. Played at Ohio State, the Ohio State University. 1-0 to Espinosa. Rips it down the line in left. Ball's going to scoot into the corner, and Danny Espinosa has a 3-hit night. Homer, single, double.
Good for Danny Espinosa. I mean, legit fastball right here, upper 80s, and Danny turns it around. So now opponents hitting 1,000 against J.B. Shuck. See what a difference one at bat can make.
18 hits for the Nats, a new season high. Superlatives rolling in offensively on almost a daily basis now. Here's Ben Revere, who's 3 for 5. Alex Avila has had a long night back there. Not a play. 90?
Yeah. This is not just some thumber lefty.
Yeah, we got to keep this in mind if he's in the outfield tomorrow night and somebody's on second base with 2 outs. Sean Kelly for the final 3 outs.
In 2006, as a freshman, he led Ohio State in ERA as a pitcher, and he was named Big Ten Freshman of the Year. So there you go. He was an outfielder and a pitcher at The Ohio State University.
Two and one. Ben Revere to the shortstop. Ball hit behind the runner, who advances to third. Jimmy Rollins throws out Ben Revere. Here comes a guy with a huge night. 3 hits, a walk, 2 runs, a 3-run homer. Jason Worth. What a good night for Ben Revere, though. He goes 3 for 6. It was 7-0 when Jason took this swing last inning.
He told me before we went up there, I'm gonna knock it out to park.
The Nationals have hit 81 home runs now, and 31 in their last 14 games.
You know, word travels fast too. There's somebody in the Nats dugout that faced Shuck in college, and you hear one guy say, "Hey, he used to pitch in college. He was pretty good."
Oh, 2 to Worth. Big rolling breaking ball out to Rollins. A run scores. Worth is out, but he has a 4 RBI night. 11-0. 2 down.
What are you thinking if you're Gio pitching tomorrow? Can they get 10 runs again for me?
You'd probably be happy with 5 or 6.
4 or 5. Good swing again by Jason Worth. Another barrel to baseball.
So Bryce Harper tonight, 3 for 5. Seven hits his last 3 games. 3 runs batted in last evening. Johnny Holiday, Ray Knight. The way things are going, they may have to extend the 30 minutes of that Nats extra post game. They've had a lot to talk about the last 3 days. It's all presented by WB Mason when this one's over.
I'm sure that's exactly what they want to do.
2-0. J.B. Shuck looking for an opportunity to tell his kids one day that he owns Bryce Harper. We'll see. Right side ground ball. Got him out. So he gives up a double, gets 3 ground ball outs, and J.B. Shuck does nothing to embarrass himself on the mound of the big leagues.
We would never dream of adding to your already heavy workload, but you'll have a lot to talk about. And here's Sean Kelly to come out and try to finish this thing off. He'll be facing Abreu, Frazier, and Cabrera. Throwing the fastball just over half the time. Sean was a major player in at least getting the Nats in position, even though they gave up some late runs to win that game Sunday in Cincinnati. 25th appearance, 1.80 ERA, 27 Ks, 4 walks in 20 innings of work. First appearance of this series. Jose Abreu is facing him for the second time. A base on balls in previous matchups. Abreu tonight 1 for 3. Max Scherzer in line for his 7th win of the year.
You know, I've said all year that there's been 2-3 guys that have been locked in this lineup at once, and wait till they're all locked in.
Yeah.
What is it going to look like? Well, you're seeing it now. You're seeing 9 guys in these American League games all throwing good at bats at you, and this is how powerful this ball club can be when they have 5, 6, 7 guys swinging it at once. Right now, really, it's everybody. Revere's coming on strong. Jason Worth swinging it. Bryce is starting to get his swing back. Wilson Ramos, Zimmerman, Rendon, Espinoza.
That ball ripped to the gap in right center. Jose Abreu, 4th hit of the series, the first extra base hit for him. Next up, Todd Frazier.
Jose Abreu can hit. You know, I thought he was just a power hitter, but seeing him go to right field this last 2 games, he's a good hitter.
Frazier 0 for 3 tonight. Against Sean Kelly, 0 for 3 career, an RBI, a couple of strikeouts.
I mean, that average for Frazier is going to get up to around 250, you'd think. And with the power numbers he's putting up, he's having maybe above 250. Who knows? Got to lay off that pitch.
Those who remain are very vocal.
If you blink hard in an 11-0 game as a hitter, they're going to say you went.
Two. Right in there. Frazier 0 for 4 and 6 for his last 41. 1 out, 9th inning.
Maybe thinking about that slider again. He got the express. I don't know if fans know this, but you know, there's times when umpires, especially the old school guys, when you're walking into a box in an 11-0 game, they'll clap their hands and say, "Hey, we're swinging. Here we go." Meaning,
yeah,
strike zone's going to be big right now. You better hack.
Slider low to Cabrera. Ramos will visit. So the Nats will go to 36-23. Their first time at 13 over. They'll hold a 3.5 game lead over the Mets. They will win their 21st game of the year on the road
And looking for 9-2 in interleague play.
13 over for the first time since 2014. Last year they were only 10 over. It's as high as they got.
That was a slider on the inside edge, and there goes the shutout. As Cabrera, who's 3 for 4, drives in Jose Abreu. It's 11-1. And maybe 1,500 fans making a lot of noise. Back-to-back, at least doubles with 1 out between them here in the 9th inning.
A nice night for Melky. 3 hits. 2 singles and a double.
That broke an 0 for 7 career against Sean Kelly for him. Here's Jimmy Rollins. 0 for 2 with a walk. Rollins 2 for 4 with a homer, 3 RBIs against Sean. Lays the fastball in there.
Sean was telling me he gave up his first big league home run in this ballpark to Jermaine Dye. Jermaine.
He could hack.
Good teammate.
Yeah, Jim Thome played here a while.
Great guy.
Big Hurt, Frank Thomas.
Great guy in the clubhouse.
Two balls, 1 strike to Jimmy. Slider right in there. Counts even.
That's going to take out a beat writer. That's where they sit here at the ballpark.
Yeah, the legend goes that ownership was asked here why they put the writing press down the right field line, and the answer was because we couldn't put them across the street.
There they are. Pretty sure they're done with their stories by now. It's the close games where they're grinding and they have them going either way depending on who pulls it out. Right now I'm pretty sure the story's already wrote.
Mark Zuckerman up there to the left in the bright shirt. 3-2 with 1 out, and Sean Kelly walks Jimmy Rollins. Mike Maddox for a visit just to get this thing rolling. Gio Gonzalez, and for the White Sox, Miguel Gonzalez, 39-game winner. Gio is 0-4 with a 5+ ERA against the Sox. Gonzalez 0-1. 1 appearance against the Nats at Nationals Park last August. More on that tomorrow night. And now Oliver Perez gets up. Oliver pitched the 8th inning last night. 1, 2, 3 and 11 pitches. And here's Brett Laurie, who's 1 for 5 career against Kelly. .86 on the slider. And another one. real close to the outside edge. So he triples up on the breaking balls. Delory. Nats using their third pitcher tonight. White Sox have used 7 plus a position player.
Who might have been the best of the bunch.
He was dealing. 3 ground ball outs. There's that fastball low in the zone, fouled away.
Pretty cool. He could put that on his resume, right? Pitched in the big leagues.
Yeah. Retired Revere, Worth, and Harper, and Wilson Ramos just took a cage rattling shot.
No, he did not need this.
Fastball up and in. Brett Lawrie is 0 for his last 17. 2 outs. Dusty Baker is going to make a pitching change here, and they are booing him in Chicago. Alex Avila due up. So Kelly Dunn gives up a run on 2 hits and a walk, strikes out 2. So that was 25 pitches for Kelly, 15 strikes, thus the change.
Yeah, Dusty Baker trying to conserve energy with his right-hander Kelly in case he needs him in a close game tomorrow. And Oliver Perez on for the 10-run save.
Avila 0 for 3 tonight. Fly ball to left, couple of strikeouts. He was the last man Max Scherzer faced, fanned him in the 7th to end his 97 pitch night. Fastball up and in, and the runners will move up. Ball almost got the jersey of Avila. Pass ball assessed. Oh my. A breaking ball that gets Avila on the elbow. Bases loaded.
You wonder if Oliver Perez was even thinking about coming in this game, even though he was warming up.
From our angle, when that ball first left his hands, I thought it was going behind the hitter. And then had a bunch of break and came back and got him. Here's Avisail Garcia. And he's going to drop one into center field to bring in 2 runs. It's now 11-3. And those runs aren't going to help Sean Kelly's before tonight nice ERA. So he gives up 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Top of the order, Adam Eaton.
I mean, you saw with Robertson tonight, the White Sox closer. You know, guys used to pitching in close games sometimes have trouble with that, getting the adrenaline going, getting that engine revved. And Sean Kelly's defense, he probably hasn't pitched in too many 11-0 games in his career.
Yeah.
Got to get outs, you know, no excuses, but you know, situations that you're probably not accustomed to.
Adam Eaton 1 for 4 tonight, facing Perez for the first time, and it's 2-0. I just love baseball fans who stick around for games like this. They're into every pitch. Guys are on their feet hollering at the umpire there. Bunch of Nats fans down by the first base dugout have stuck around in their red. Now Washington a strike away from winning the series.
So the L here is 24 hours. They don't have to catch the Metro.
Big curveball. That's a base hit. And that'll bring in another run. It's now 11-4. Avila scoring from second. Stopping at second, Garcia. And Adam Eaton with his 19th RBI. Austin Jackson will be the 9th Chicago hitter in the 9th. Jackson has never faced Perez. He was trying to make it 11-7. Breaking ball hit right at Stephen Drew. The Nats win the series, and tomorrow they'll go for the sweep. White Sox didn't go down without a fight. They had 9 hits tonight, but the Nats just outclubbed them big time. For FP and Dan, Bob Carpenter, the Nats win it 11-4, and they will try to come home with a 7-2 road trip if they can win behind Gio tomorrow. 8 o'clock, Masson 2, first pitch, 8:10. This has been a presentation of Masson. Johnny and Ray with a full half hour ahead for you. Nats Extra from the south side of Chicago. Nats win and hit big. See you later.